are, Monday, November 20th. We're at approximately 31 degrees, 5 minutes north, and 68 degrees, 19 minutes west. We had a pretty hellish night last night. The front passed through just after midnight, and we had about 25 to 35 knots, and then winds gusting up easily 40, probably over 40, and squalls. So it was a fun night. The front is past now. These winds have veered. They're now northerly, and the barometer's rising. And off to the north there, I can even see some blue sky. So hopefully we'll have a little sunshine to cheer us up. All is well. No damage other than my bilge pump. My bilge pump broke. So I've had to resort to using a hand pump into a bucket and then chucking it overboard. Normally this boat doesn't take on water, but in rough conditions, generally I have to pump the bilge about every 2 hours because the water just starts coming in through vents and cockpit hatches and so on. As you can see, we still got some, the boat's still rocking and rolling. We still got some southwesterly swell left over, but it's gradually settling down. The wind is northerly. It's around 20 knots or so, occasionally getting up to 25. But we're on course, we're moving fast, and hopefully getting toward much better sailing. Ahoy everyone. It is Tuesday, November 21st. We're at approximately 29 degrees, 5 minutes north, 67 degrees, 4 minutes west. Presently we're in near gale conditions. We've got about an easterly winds around 25 to 35 knots, which was not forecast. Now, it's a very complicated weather picture, but from what I can understand, this cold front that passed us has stalled. It's presently at 29 north, 65 west to 28 north, 70 west, which means we're only about 20 or 30 miles north of this front. So I'm guessing that's why we're getting these very strong winds. It's forecast to lift north as a warm front tomorrow. They're just saying easterlies 15 to 25, so I think the reason we got all this wind is because we're so close to the front. And then the winds are going to shift southeast, which is going to be just about right on our nose, and still remain brisk at 15 to 25 knots. So I think at some point we're just going to end up heaving to for a while and just sitting out here. Now Wednesday night we might get a break, but again, the forecast I'm using, what I get on my single sideband from the Coast Guard, they're forecasting for a very wide area, so it's hard to tell exactly what's going to happen. But we might get northwesterlies on Wednesday night, and which would be nice, because then it'll be behind us again. And then it looks like Thursday, Friday, the winds are going to go light, and then Friday, Saturday, kind of light south to southwest. After this, I don't mind light winds. I wouldn't mind a break from all these strong winds. However, they are going to be headwinds, so our progress is going to be very slow. So that's where we're at. Obviously, this was not the forecast I was hoping for, but we take it as it comes, and we keep driving this old girl south. And hopefully things will improve for us pretty soon. you can see, another wonderful day in the neighborhood here. It's Wednesday, November 22nd. We're at 2736 north and 6719 west. The winds have come southeast. For the most part, they've actually dropped down, but we're still getting these squalls, so occasionally the wind is picking up. And right now we're back up about 30 knots. And so we're slowly heading off to the south-southwest here, continuing under storm canvas. So that's where we're at. All is well on board. This is not exactly the booze cruise here, and we'll keep hoping that this weather is going to give us a break pretty soon. Ahoy everyone! It is Friday, November 24th. We're at approximately 25 degrees, 50 minutes north and 66 degrees, 45 minutes west. Our progress has slowed down a fair bit. We were becalmed most of the night last night. There was very little wind. And I just heaved or two and went down to sleep because I was really quite exhausted from that spell of heavy weather. I needed some rest. We picked up these southerlies early this morning, so we're heading off kind of to the southeast, east-southeast, more east-southeast, which is fine. It sounds like the better wind is as you get out further east. At least, hopefully by Monday, we'll have easterly trade winds to get us the rest of the way down to the Virgin Islands. As you can see, it's a beautiful day out here, and I got my make and mend day that I had ordered. You can see I got my sleeping bag out in the cockpit, and during that spell of rough weather, one of the port lights leaked on my bunk, so my sleeping bag got all wet. We had a rain shower this morning, so I left it out in the cockpit, got it washed off with some fresh water, and now I'm just letting it dry out in the sun. So we're also going to try to repair the bilge pump today. It'd be nice to have a working bilge pump. And so we can't just sit out and laze in the sun, although it is a beautiful day. We got to get these projects done, get this ship back, get everything back in working order as soon as possible. Other than that, it is a beautiful day. It's nice sailing out here. And we're going to get to work. We'll check in with you later. So, looks like we fixed the bilge pump here. It looks like all it was a screw from the backing plate that attaches to the other plate that's attached to the handle. That had simply come unscrewed. Otherwise, it seems to be fine. So I just cleaned it out with some soap and water and put a little Vaseline in the flapper valves there and also on the diaphragm to help seal things. So we'll go ahead and give it the bucket test here and see if it passes that. And indeed, seems we've struck pay dirt here. So, of course, the final test will be to install it and see if it pumps the water out of the bilge. But so far, this is looking pretty promising. Hi, everyone. Kevin Boothby here on a Monday, 27th of November. We got another beautiful day out here in the North Atlantic. However, we still have light winds, and now they've come more genuinely southeast instead of south-southeast, so that's a little better for us. And we're at our meridian, we're just east of 65, so our course is due south, and we're steering right now about 200 or so true. So we're about 20 degrees shy of the course. And we are presently at 24 degrees 35 minutes north and 64 degrees 55 minutes west. So in the past 24 hours we've only done about 25 miles or so. Yesterday afternoon when I did that video on Celestial, I remember we got down to like 2502, 2501 north. And then the wind went calm yesterday afternoon, and I think we had some northeasterly setting current, but we ended up back up at 2506 north, so we went about 5 miles backwards. And then just after dark, the wind started to come in, a very light wind started to come in from the east. So I managed to get the boat sailing again, and I could get the wind vane just to steer in those conditions. And so it seemed like we were chugging along on our way south, chugging along at about 2.5 knots. And I went down to sleep, and I ended up sleeping for 3 hours. And the wind vane had actually, in the meantime, had steered her through a jibe. So I woke up, and the mainsail was backed against the preventer, and both headsails were backed, and we were drifting off to the kind of northwest there. And so then when I look on the GPS, we're back up to 2506 north. So it was kind of like Groundhog Day. I kept, every time I think we'd get south of 25, I'd go to sleep and wake up and we'd be back up at 2506 again. So anyway, we have finally gotten south of 25. Our forecast is for easterly winds starting tonight, and we should have those easterlies all the way or most of the way down to the Virgin Islands. They're going to be fairly light though, fairly light trade winds, kind of in the 5 to 15 knot range, which is definitely very light for this time of year. Usually they're more like 15 to 25. But as long as they're easterly and not south or southeasterly, which is what we've had for the past 4 days, I'm good with it. As long as we got at least about 6 or 7 knots of wind. So that's it. I mean, it's beautiful weather out here, but we're going at a snail's pace, and at some point I would like to get into the Virgin Islands.